Data analysts, business analysts, they look almost the same in job postings. And actually, sometimes they are the same job, but sometimes they're completely different jobs. And the title on the job posting won't tell you which one you're looking at. I've been on both sides. I started as a business analyst, and now I work as a senior data analyst at a Fortune 300 company. So today, I'm breaking down the real day-to-day difference between data analysts and business analysts, where they overlap, and the one thing that actually predicts what the job will feel like. By the end of this video, you should know exactly which role fits you and how to tell. Okay, so first let's talk about the data analyst role. So remember, the caveat with all of this is that between business analysts and data analysts, there can be a lot of overlap. Job descriptions tend to be a little bit arbitrary, and sometimes you get data analyst positions that are actually like data science or data engineer positions, and sometimes you get data analyst positions that look more like business analysts, and vice versa. It's a weird field with a lot of titles that all have some kind of overlap. But if we're talking about brass tacks with the data analyst job, it's about being the person who knows what's true. How much you shape the questions that get asked depend on where you sit. So let's talk about like a recent project that I worked on. So I was given a project that started off with a relatively vague ask, and it took me doing a lot of like stakeholder interviewing and kind of working in tandem with stakeholders as I was building. It meant figuring out the tables that I needed to use to pull the data, actually pulling that data and shaping it, and then putting the end result of what they were looking for into a Power BI dashboard. From there, I presented the kind of V1. We took it from there, we talked about it, we iterated a couple times over the course of a few weeks before I ended up with finished product. And what the original ask sounded like was, hey, we have kind of a business critical report that needs to get made. We need to be able to show XYZ, and we need a dashboard that we can look at to know what's going on a regular basis. And then it was just me asking a lot of questions to kind of get down to the root of what they were looking for and to understand the different metrics they really needed to see. What was cool about this project is they were kind of expecting it to take probably a few months start to finish, but I was able to deliver it start to finish in a few weeks. In fact, I actually had the version 1 in a few days. And that made a really strong impressions with the departments I was working with. And I was working with departments that are different than my own, that I don't normally interface with. So also a great opportunity to kind of like get my name out there in the company. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that this started off with a question. And from that question, I had to kind of massage the situation and ask more questions on my part to eventually land at the solution that we wanted. Because you see, most of the time, the stakeholder brings you the question and that's the default. But how much you get to shape it depends on where you sit. A data analyst embedded in a single department learns that domain deeply enough to say, that's the wrong question, here's the one you actually want. A data analyst on like a central BI team or data enterprise team or something like that who's supporting everybody is mostly taking tickets or working in Jira sprints. And that makes it hard to push back more on a domain you only see like once per quarter maybe. Both of these are real data analyst jobs. And when it comes to something like the interview process or even reading a job description, you want to kind of read or ask questions to understand what you're applying for or what you're interviewing for. And what could sometimes be a little bit weird or frustrating about this role is sometimes the request can continue to change. You know, a request might change 3 times because the stakeholder didn't know what they wanted until they saw the wrong version. And you want to avoid this as much as possible. And you avoid it by asking good questions. You want to take your time with stakeholder interviewing and kind of the intake part of the situation. I call it research and development. And you want to do as much of this as possible before you actually start the build phase. Doing this keeps you from being weeks or even months into a project and producing the wrong version. And if we're looking at the tools that a data analyst uses, again, this can vary from role to role. What we're typically going to see is some kind of SQL, maybe working out of like a Snowflake data warehouse. You're going to have a BI layer, whether that's Power BI, Tableau, or something else. You're going to have spreadsheets somewhere in there, some kind of ad hoc capacity, or even just like exporting to a sheet. Like if I get a quick analysis, like, hey, can I just get a rundown on XYZ? And I spend an hour or 2 on it and I just give it to them on a spreadsheet. I opt for a dashboard if it's something they need to see on a regular basis. But if it's a one-off, you could just query it in Snowflake or Databricks or wherever, export it to Excel file, do a little bit of formatting and send it off to them. Of course, there's the AI layer. So some companies are using Claude, some are maybe in a Microsoft ecosystem and they're using something like GitHub Copilot. But at this point, you're probably going going to have an AI layer somewhere in there. And ideally, you're doing more than just talking to a chat GPT chat or something like that. Let's talk about who's built for the data analyst role versus like a business analyst role. So here's some signals. Like if you're bothered when a number is off by a rounding error and you just have to know why, or you're comfortable with being alone with a problem for hours and spending plenty of time in deep work. So you might be more built for a data analyst role versus a business analyst role. As far as salary goes, data analysts earn a median salary near $75,000 with faster job growth at 20%. Again, lots of variability here. There are data analysts that make, upwards of 200K. It's a little bit more rare, but you're gonna see like starting off sub 100. There is plenty of room above the 100K mark, especially once you get into the senior positions. Okay, so now you have a bit more of a solid picture of the data analyst side, but the table up there is only half full. Next, let's get into business analysts. And real quick, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Miro. And this is very fitting because it is connected to what we're doing. I actually used Miro to map out this entire comparison before I even filmed this video. Let me show you a little bit about that.
Miro is an innovation workspace where teams can dream, design, and build together.
What makes it different is that AI lives right inside the canvas where your work already lives. It's not in a separate tab that you're navigating back and forth to. I use Miro's flows to take my scattered research and turn it into a clean, structured output in seconds instead of hours. And through Miro's MCP server, you could connect external AI tools like Claude directly to the same canvas. And I can use Claude right where my work already exists. It makes things very easy. It's also built for collaborative AI workflows where your whole data team is working in the same shared space with AI helping you organize your project workflows, scope, and timing. If that sounds interesting to you, try it out in the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen. Okay, now business analysts. The thing about business analysts is that it's probably the least standardized title in the data field. It is often technical, but the range is enormous. And the title alone usually isn't enough to tell you exactly what the role is. So when I was a business analyst, that was my first kind of legit role in data, but it honestly was a little bit less technical than I was expecting. I was building a lot of Tableau reports. I was doing a lot in Excel as well and building dashboards in Excel and things like that. To be perfectly honest, I wasn't touching SQL nearly as much as I would have liked to. But one cool thing about the role is I was surrounded by a lot of leadership. I was reporting directly to the VP, and I was often in meetings with the VP, directors, and leadership to talk about the problems that we wanted to solve. And my opinion was actually very much valued in that position. Reporting was only probably about half the job, whereas the other half was like defining what it was supposed to answer and getting the sign off. So as a data analyst at 10 a.m., you might be alone in a query and chasing down some numbers. A business analyst at 10 a.m. might be in a room with 4 people who each want something different and getting them to one answer, which is the deliverable. And then you go build a report too. A data analyst's core deliverable is the answer. A business analyst's core deliverable is the agreement, and often the answer as well. Not always, but sometimes. Data analysts also get judged on whether the number was right. Business analysts often get judged on whether the right thing got built. Again, if we're talking about business analyst toolkit, Excel, Tableau, or Power BI, like I mentioned, a little bit of SQL. Plenty of business analysts do all this and more. Some business analysts might just be using Excel. Business analysts might be a lot more involved in requirement docs, process mapping, ticketing, and roadmap tools, and might be in more meetings than a data analyst. And a data analyst might be more on the deeper end technically, more complex SQL, Python, statistical work, modeling, maybe even a little bit of engineering, depending on where you work. So a data analyst who can't write SQL probably doesn't have the job.
What?
But a business analyst who can't write SQL might still be great at the job. The floor is different, but not the ceiling, if that makes sense. So where you might be a good fit as a business analyst specifically is if meetings give you energy, if you're really good at translating between technical and business concepts to people naturally. I remember back when I was a business analyst and I would report to my VP, if I had a meeting with one of the engineers and I was getting a little too technical, she'd be cut the technical jargon, just tell me what it is. That was actually a really good good exercise for me. Another thing is really enjoying ambiguity or kind of thriving in an ambiguous environment. On the flip side, if you finish a great analysis and felt let down that nobody wanted to talk more about how you got there, you might be a data analyst or better suited to be a data analyst. And according to Glassdoor, business analysts in the US earn an average base pay of $87,000 as of May 2026, while data analysts bring in an average base pay of $76,000. Pretty interesting. But BAs showing higher on average doesn't mean it pays better for you. It's a wider title, there's more seniority levels folded in. You don't want to pick a career just based on the average, because again, the salaries can kind of be all over the place. So again, both are pretty solid roles, both pay relatively well, but this table can't tell you which one is going to feel right for you. But hopefully I can help a little bit with that, because I had to make this exact call myself. So I mentioned that I started off as a business analyst and eventually moved towards being a data analyst. And there wasn't like a specific moment where I made this choice, but I really just over time knew that I wanted to move in a more technical direction. Even though the role I had as a business analyst was great and I really kind of loved where I sat within the organization, I just had a greater desire to do more technical work. I wanted to go deeper on that side of things. What I had to give up was a little bit of the influence or proximity to decision making. As a business analyst, like I mentioned, I reported directly to the VP. I was very close to the table. And honestly, I may have had the opportunity to move up the corporate ladder more quickly if I wanted to, but I wanted to advance more technically. So this meant transitioning to a more technical role, which for me ultimately meant higher pay in the short term, but that has only continued as I've moved on to different roles. So it's worked out for me. But I picked the path which helped me develop a broader and deeper technical skill set, because that's what I wanted. By the way, this channel exists so that people like you watching can be more informed when making career decisions and developing their data careers. So it'd mean the world to me if you could subscribe and support the channel so that we can help more people like yourself. Okay, so let's walk through this comparison again in summary. So data analysts deliver the answer. Business analysts typically deliver the agreement and the answer too. Both are in Excel, SQL, and BI tools to varying degrees. Data analysts might go a little bit deeper. Business analysts have maybe a little bit more documentation and process involved. Data analysts skew more towards heads down analysis. Business analysts split between alignment and building. Data analysts want to be right. Business analysts want to be the bridge. When it comes to salary, both are good, but neither should be the deciding factor alone. And as far as titles, data analyst means roughly the same thing across most places, while business analysts might mean 5 different jobs, if I'm being totally honest. But I think how much you want to be embedded in a specific spot versus a more central spot matters more than the title alone. So both are using a similar tech stack, at least at the core. Both are talking to stakeholders, both are building reports, and anyone who's telling you that there's no overlap has only held one of these titles at a single company. So they only have one view of how it works. But again, the tendency tends to be that data analysts go deeper technically, while business analysts go wider on process and alignment, but this is not a hard and fast rule. But if you're looking at one of these two titles on paper, what actually helps predict what the job will be doing is where the role sits. If you're embedded in one department, you'll learn the domain, you'll shape the questions, you'll have influence, and this is honestly true for both titles. You can be in a specific domain or department in either of these titles. And you might be on a central team serving everyone. You'll take requests and deliver against them. This is also true for both titles. And this one fact tells you more about how your Tuesday might look than the title alone does. So when you read a posting, don't worry about the title so much. Read the responsibilities, find out what team it sits on, then ask in the interview who decides what gets analyzed. Which of these sounds more like what you're doing right now? Data analyst or business analyst? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious what the audience spread is of those watching the video. But this right here, this comparison table, is your cheat sheet. And if you've already decided that the data analyst path is for you, I made a video that walks you through exactly how to get there. And it's the advice I wish I had when I was first starting out. And it's linked right here. Again, don't forget to check out Miro and its AI innovation workspace in the description below. Thanks again to Miro for sponsoring. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.